Okay, so first of all you need to start is just to balance. So a little bit of space, we've done these before so many times. So this is just like as standard as it gets. Balance on the left foot and then reach the right arm as far forward as you can. When you come up, reach the right toe as far forward as you can. So you're going right fingertips forward, right toes forward, and go through 10 of those on each side. So as slow or fast as you want to go, no rush. The range of motion is more important. We were talking about this yesterday when we were like practicing mobility drills. Is it easier to look forward and keep your balance, or is it easier to look at the ground and keep your balance? I think it depends on who you are, but I think it's easier to look at the ground. 10 of these, we're gonna start switching up your vision there at the end. So when we get into this a little more, we'll start taking away that vision. All right, same thing on the other side if you haven't already switched. You're onto the right foot, left hand reaches forward, left foot reaches forward. Make sure when the foot goes forward, you're leaning back. So you're getting this stretch for the hip and engaging the core. 10 of those. You guys are probably moving a lot faster than I am. 10 of these guys should feel good. Maybe one side feels better than the other. All right, when you're done with those 10, I'm gonna keep moving this down and up because we're gonna keep going from the mat back to standing. So lay down on your mat. This one's kind of fun. We're gonna do a lot of funky ab stuff. So legs are straight out, arms are above the head. You're gonna tuck both knees in and go feet flat, hands flat, and then reverse that movement. Legs straight out, arms over the head, everything swings in, and you're in this kind of like, you could lift the hips up pose. Legs go out, arms go out, sit up, feet flat. So just go in 10 of those. We're gonna keep getting a little further into this. 10 total. See if you can not put the heels down when you extend the legs, just so you get a little more stretch. Yeah, nice job. Go through 10 of those. How am I supposed to do this? Pin. There you go. All right. 10 of those. When you're done with those 10, go flat feet. And you're gonna fold the legs over to one side and then fold the legs over to the other side. So notice the shoulders are staying even. I'm not letting the shoulders twist with the rest of the body. Do 10 each way. This should feel good. You just kind of like flop the legs over and then switch. We're just trying to warm up the hips and get a little bit more movement in them. See if you can get that. If I'm flopping over to the right, I'm trying to get my left inside knee down. So I'm trying to stretch out the front of the hip, get rotation in the top of that femur. 10 each way. And then we're gonna kind of blend the last thing we just did. So legs straight out, arms over the head. Everything comes in and fold the legs over to one side. And then go back into that. Extend, sit up, fold the legs to the other side. So go through 10 of those. We have a lot of abs today. I don't know why. Every now and then, I just feel like everybody needs to do a lot of abs. It was like post-Memorial Day. Nobody eats really well on Memorial Day. Just makes you feel good to do the abs a little bit. So it'll end up being 5 on each side. You're doing 10 total. Fold the legs, feet flat. Fold the legs. All right, so 5 of those on each side. You should be close-ish. From there, stay here. So the feet are flat. Fold the legs over to the left, replant the left hand, and go through these where you just lift the hips and reach up, plant the hip back down. Lift the hips, reach up, plant the hips back down. So go through 5 of those guys. Lift the hips, back down. 5 total. And then it's gonna be the exact same thing on the other side. So pretty easy transition, just roll to the other side, plant the right hand down. Now the left arm reaches up and over the head. It should feel like just this huge stretch for the lat, for the oblique, stretch through the ribs. 5 total. When you're done with those 5, going back to those like V-ups of sorts. So legs are straight out, toes are pointed, arms are above the head. Sit up, fold the legs over, reach the arm over the head, and then come back down to neutral and extend. So we do basically just slowly combined all of those things. Fold the legs over, hips up, reach. And you can go through those pretty quick. We're still doing 5 on each side. Then we'll stand back up and go back into balance. We have these kind of long mat combinations. Tuck the knees, fold the legs, raise the hips, set the hips down, and just kind of reverse all of that. 10 total, 5 on each side. It should all feel good. I mean, it should be tiring at some point on the abs, but ultimately, it should just feel good. That stretch is a good one. To stretch out the obliques, create space in the rib cage, arch the head over, try to bring that bicep to the ear. All right. That should be 10-ish. When you're done there, stand back up. So I told you, I'm gonna keep moving this thing because we're gonna go from standing to sitting to standing to sitting. Okay, so back to your balance. Balancing on that left foot, because that's what we started with last time. This time you're gonna reach right hand down, left hand up. While you're down there, switch, left hand down, right hand up, and then come all the way back up. So if I'm on my left leg, I'm always reaching with the opposite hand first, reaching with the same hand second, and then return. So go through 10 of those. Tap, twist, return. Reach, tap, twist, tap, return. So check that every time you're coming back up to that vertical spine, shoulders are even, hips are even. It should all feel good again. It's not unfamiliar to that leg. This is like just taking it to the next level from what we did at first. You still get vision. We're gonna change the vision here along the way. So get comfortable with that. When you're done, you just switch sides, easy enough. You'll switch to the right leg, left hand will reach first, right hand will reach next, back up to neutral. And you may be going through these faster than I am or slower. Do 10-ish. If you hit 8 and that feels good, you can stop. If it feels really good, you can like keep going to 12. We always reach with that opposite hand first. The idea being that we're trying to just recreate that common direction movement. So when you run, the right leg and left arm go together at the same time. So it's a little easier for balance. 10 of those. And then we'll go back to laying down. Last time you lay down, but it's gonna be this whole sequence again. So you gotta get comfy. Okay, make sure you can see me. All right. So this time a little different. You're gonna go everything out, right? Just like we were last time. This time sit up and bring the right foot in only. Plant the left hand and the left heel and just lift the hips a little. So then you're going right back down, and let's keep doing the same side just so we don't get too confused. So right knee comes in, left hand plants. You're just kind of pivoting off that left heel, lift the hips, lower the hips, roll back down. Go through 5 of those. Reach, extend, roll down, exhale, sit up, reach, sit down, full extension. Go through 5 of those. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. 5, and then pretty easy switch. Now you're gonna bring that left knee in. So sit up, left knee in, right hand plants down, press the hips up, reach. Left knee comes in every time, right hand plants down every time, extend, reach. So 5 total. We're basically just getting further into that stretch that we were doing when we were here. Now you're just able to get a lot higher and create more movement, so it should feel good. 5. When you're done there, we're gonna come up to this upright sitting position, feet flat. Hold on to one knee and pull it in really tight. Extend the other leg and flex the foot. Almost like you're trying to pull the toes back to the knee, vertical spine, and you're just doing 15 little leg lifts. And we do these, I try to do these like every 3rd class. It's a good thing to regularly do, especially as runners. So 15 little lifts, Again, if you do 10 and you're like, oh my gosh, it hurts, just stop there. Same thing on the other side. Pull that knee in, flex the foot, sit upright, straight arm raise, straight leg raise, whatever that appendage is. 15. Check that you're not going into this like tucked tailbone pose. It makes it a lot easier. But the idea is we're trying to really limit what gets to help lift the leg. And the more vertical the spine is, the more it's isolated to that hip flexor. 15 of those. All right. Then we're going to go back to legs straight out. Whenever you're done, lay back down. So this time we're going to pull the right knee in first, just like last time. Sit up, pull the right knee in, plant the left hand. Now, rather than just lifting the hips up, we're going to rotate around and bring both feet flat. And then you just reverse that movement. Pick up the left foot, extend it, roll back down. Both feet are hovering. So the right leg comes in every time. You can keep that heel off the ground because it's just going to come in right about a foot away from your right foot. Extend that leg, roll back down. Go through 5 of those. So you're using that left hand to pivot onto that shoulder, extend, sit up, right knee comes in, plant the left hand, pivot. You could put the other hand down if that feels better. We don't need it. 5-ish of these. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. So now the left leg will come in, right hand will plant down, and you'll rotate that way. Right leg extends, roll back down. So it's just the exact same thing, mirror image. Left knee tucks in, right hand plants down, twist, and back. So imagine you're trying to get to this point where both knees are pointed down towards the ground. We have one more addition to this. So we're just kind of progressing towards this full get up. It's kind of cool. Next time you're playing like a board game on the ground with your kids, you're gonna like have a really cool way to get up. All right, 5-ish of those. When you're done with those, you're back to feet planted, vertical spine, send one leg straight out. This time you're going leg out, back in. Leg out, back in. 2 things to check, 3 things to check. 1, toes are pointed straight up, not collapsing out. 2, that the leg is really straight. And 3, that the spine is straight up and down, that you're not ending up in this rounded back position. And you should feel this right in front of that hip. Same thing on the other side whenever you're ready, 15-ish. Pull that knee in, extend the legs, sit up. If you can sit on like the sit bones where you can like feel the bones on the ground, even better. 15 of those. So as far as the knee and the ankle are concerned, there's no movement happening. Same as for the spine. There's no movement in the spine. It's just that hip. 15. When you're done with those 15, we'll go back to that rollover, but we're going to add a stand up. So you'll lay down, extend both legs. When you sit up, tuck the right knee. Left hand plants. You come over to this position. The only difference is now you're just going to stand up. Put that hand back down. Pick up your left leg. It's going to go through that window. And then roll back down. So right knee comes in. Hand down. Rotation. Stand up. At whatever pace feels good for you. For some people, it feels better just go a little faster because then you don't necessarily have to spend as much time in these weird positions. Nice job. 5 of those. Right knee comes in every time. I'm rolling away from that bent knee, pushing off that single hand, and then kicking that same leg through the window. 5 of those. When you switch sides, it'll just be a fresh leg. Left leg comes in. Right hand plants down, twist over, stand up. Right hand goes down, right leg goes through the window, left leg extends. So left leg always bends first, right hand always plants down, twist and stand up. Go through 5-ish of those. They feel great. You can do a bonus 1 or 2. All right. That's the last of that progression. We don't get any crazier with that. When you're done with those 5, last time here, stay seated, feet flat, pull one leg in, extend one leg out. So you should be able to know this by this time, but having done these classes enough, first is always up and down, second is always side to side, third is always rotational. So lift the heel up, turn the toe in, turn the toe out, toe in, toe out. And it's not my ankle that's moving, it's the whole unit. So again, as far as the knee and the ankle are concerned, there's nothing happening. They're not doing anything. It's everything surrounding that hip. 15 of those each way. It should feel hard. Like you could dig your thumb in your hip and really feel like this is the part of the body that is doing all the work. Same thing on the other side. Pull that knee in. Try to sit up straight again. Rotation. Even if you're not meaning to, generally your body will just start to kind of like slump back to help you out a little bit. So 15. And then we're going to do one thing to stretch out the hips because this is a lot to ask out of the hips. This is probably one of my favorite stretches. So come back to this, feet flat, hips up, and then I just walk the hands closer to the feet a little bit and try to raise the hips up. You either feel it or you don't. And then you have a little twist side to side. If you can get up onto the balls of the feet, that's better. This actually just doesn't work for some people. So if you're one of those people, don't worry about it. And then we're gonna go into something that does work for everybody. One hand up and over the head, stretch. Bring the hips down and switch hands. Up and over, stretch. And we'll go through 3 on each side. That other little wiggle hip stretch, I swear there are just some people who it just physically doesn't work for. And it may just be that like you just don't have that Achilles range of motion. So I try to not spend too much time in it in case you're one of those people. All right, when you're done there, stand back up and we'll go back to balance. That was the last thing you're doing on the mat. That's the good news. Back to balance. Okay. So balancing on the left foot, this time we're gonna go eyes to the left, right hand is still reaching forward. So the only difference between this and the first one is you're taking the view from straight forward and instead looking to the left. So right hand will reach forward and I'll look left, come back up to neutral and balance. Go through 10 of those. Eyes look left, back up to neutral, balance. Wherever you want to look in the in-between works. You can come back to neutral and look forward. You can come back to neutral and look down. It doesn't matter to me. The goal is to just take away wherever your point of contact with the eyes, trying to take that point of contact and moving it so that you rely a little more on just spatial awareness, body awareness, where the weight is on the foot. And it can be a lot harder. This is like not very hard for some people and yet like nearly impossible for others. So 10 of those, then switch sides and it will be exactly the same, just mirror image. Right foot will be down, left hand is your reacher. And now I'm always looking towards my balancing foot. So I'll look right, come back to neutral. Look right. And if at any point you need to set that other foot down, just do it. It's better than trying to jump around and save yourself. It would be better to just barely touch that toe down and help yourself out. So vision to the right, and then wherever you want it to be when you come back to neutral. 10. Oop. Nice job. All right, so we've done plenty of front of the hip, plenty of back of the hip. Now we're gonna try to work on his inside of the hip and outside of the hip, so the sides, okay? So super, super wide stance for the feet. This is kind of a fun one. We've actually never done this before, but I came up with this because I wanted you to work on teaching that leg to catch the descent, reverse it, and send you back to the ascent. So the flat foot is gonna catch you, push off of it and just balance onto that left foot, right? Leg catches you, push off of it, balance. Go through 10 of those. So it's important that that foot is pointed forward, that the feet are parallel. It's only important because we're gonna do the other 2 variations. So you might as well get this one down first. 10 total. Before you switch sides, we're gonna stay on that leg, focusing on the right leg, and just squat down, reach the arms forward, almost like you're pulling something up, come back up to neutral. So from the side, you look like this, reach the arms forward, drop the chest, press back up to neutral. Reach the arms forward, press. Go through 10 of those. So yes, you're uneven at this point. You're doing 2 things on that right side, or if you're on your left, 2 things on your left. Then we'll switch sides. That leg should be getting tired, right? It's the quad that pushes you up, the glutes and hips that send you down, and then reverse that movement, quad takes over for the rest. Same 2 things on the other side. So you go into that catch, push off that leg and balance. And whatever you do with that free leg is up to you. If you want to bring it in, that works. If you want to bring the knee in, that works. If you want to let it just hover out wide, doesn't really matter. It's just important that that leg is catching you and pushing you off. Descend, ascend. Decelerate, accelerate. Just like what we do in running, the legs are constantly push, pull, push, pull. All right, 10 of those, then keep the feet wide. Now you're just sinking down to that left side, reach the arms out, pull to get back up. 10 of those. And the idea here is you're reaching the arms forward, so they're your counterbalance. So that now you can send the hips back further, and it should feel good. You're stretching out that right inner thigh, and you're asking for a lot of effort out of the outside of the hip. All right, we're gonna go through 1 more version of touchdowns, and then 1 more version of these, and then you're done. So once you're done with those 10, last time, I promise, and this is the worst one, you're gonna take the balance up as high as you can. So balance on the left foot, reaching with the right hand. Rather than just looking left, I'm gonna try to look up and then come back to neutral. I don't think I did a single one of these correctly yesterday, so we'll try it today. 10 of these. Eyes are down when you start. Eyes go up. You can reach the arm up if that just feels better to have this like visual. 10 of these. So if that just feels totally impossible, 2 things. 1, you can either go back to just looking to the side, or you can't put your back toe down, and that just gives you another point of contact. So go through 10 of those. Or if you have a wall, you can always put 1 hand on that wall to just get a little bit of balance. All right, same thing on the other side, whenever you're ready. Right foot flat, left hand is your reacher, and you're looking towards the leg you're balancing on. So my gaze goes to the right and then goes up, back to neutral balance. Reach, look up, back to neutral balance. It's like no problem getting into it. It's just getting back out of it that's tricky. Inhale when you go down so you can connect the breathing to it. Exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale down, try to fill up the belly rather than the chest. Exhale, back to neutral. And again, you can go through these as fast or slow as you want. I talked to Emily Howell today, and she says she does these mobility lessons recorded later on, and that she always has to pause it because she wiggles too much. So I like to think about you guys having to like pause, but it's good to just do whatever feels good for you. If it means you only get an 8, you only get an 8. All right, last thing we're gonna do here. We've done toes pointed forward. So we're gonna do 1 round toes out and 1 round toes in. So for the catch, where that foot catches you, the toe's gonna be in. It's a weird movement. Push off that leg balance. Bend the knee, push off that leg. So closer, this hip is rotated in, toe in, push off, toe in, push off. So we're just trying to strengthen the body's ability to still adapt to when the foot isn't perfectly straight. 10 of these. Last little sequence you're doing, and then I promise you're done. I feel like today was hard. Maybe I'm just tired. All right, once you're done with those 10, Don't switch sides yet. Instead, take that turned in toe and turn it out. But check that the hips didn't go with it. So hips are still pointed forward, toes just out. And take that foot even further away. So it should feel like obnoxiously far apart. Bend that right knee, reach forward, press off that leg, come back to neutral. Go through, mine is too slippery. Go through 10 of those, slow. And it should feel like there's a big groin stretch. If you could like dig the fingers into that hamstring, you should feel right where it starts to work. That a hamstring has to fire to get you going back up. Drop the chest. If it helps to reach the arms forward, go for it. 10. And then you'll go to the other side, those same 2 things. And then you're done. Okay, feet are wide. We do not need this towel anymore. It is now in the way. Okay, feet are wide. Now left toe is turned in. Hips are still forward. Bend the knee, push off of it. Bend the knee, push off. 10. Just think constant movement. You're really not pausing at the top or at the bottom. And then toe turned out. Hips are still forward. Take that foot even further out. So it should feel like, oh, it's really far. Arms go forward as you bend that left knee. Pull back up to neutral. 10. So we did a lot of rotation for the hips, stretch for the back, a demand out of the shoulders for stability when we did all those planting rotation after the rotations. We did a lot of hamstring stuff, 4 rounds in fact, and then a little bit of vision drill, hip mobility, and gee, I don't know, like 50 V-ups by the end of it. So you did a ton of abs. It's good for you. You'll be better for it. All right, that's it. That's what I got for you. Bye guys, good to see you.